Hi everyone, this is Mr Neel Raithatha, also known as the Wax Whisperer. Thank you for tuning into my latest video. The patient in this video is a 92-year-old lady with extremely narrow ear, especially in the left side. This is the left ear that we're examining at the moment. The right side, which is this ear, it's narrow but not as much, not so compared to the left ear. And you can probably saw some bruising there on the posterior, so the back part of the ear canal posterior, medial, so near to the eardrum canal wall, and you'll see it in the bottom left of screen. Now, this patient was actually referred to me by a local GP. The local GP does offer private earwax removal themselves, and the patient booked in with the GP, I think, the other day. But the GP, and all credit to the GP, found the procedure very difficult. They don't use an endoscope. I think they use head loops. So they put a speculum in the ear and they have kind of magnifying goggles on, really. And the GP advised the patient that they partially remove the wax in the right ear, but they can't remove this bit that's impacted on the eardrum. They're finding it difficult to visualize. And the left side, they just found it too narrow, the ear. So the GP, and as I said, great credit to the GP, did the right thing. Asked the patient to contact myself. There was a bit of bruising there, you can see bottom left. Now, I don't know, that could have been the patient themselves that caused that bruising with a cotton bud. So the earwax is on the eardrum, which it suggests to me something's been poked and prodded into the ear. So I've managed to extract the plug of wax off the eardrum, which is intact. It's just some wax on the anterior wall. I'm just trying to hover over it. So if it comes loose, it comes loose. Otherwise, I'm not overly concerned. It's not going to affect the patient's hearing. And you can see there's a bit of staining around the edge, there's a bit of wax on the roof of the ear canal, near the eardrum. Again, I'm not overly concerned by that. So I'm just trying to remove this wax just off the anterior wall, and I'm thinking if it all peels off, it peels off, great. If not, it's not a problem. We don't want to overdo it. You can see that that piece of wax did tear off. It didn't take everything else off from the roof, but that's not on the eardrum, that's fine, that'll naturally migrate. Remember, the patient is 92. I don't want to cause unnecessary trauma to the patient, so there's just a bit on the surface here, and I thought, well, let's just, again, suction that, hover. We're on more on the cartilaginous portion now, so we're away from the danger area. The danger area is the bony part of the ear canal. That's a sensitive part, and the patient's already obviously got some bruising and trauma. We don't want to add to that, so I'm really pleased with that. Patient in here is significantly better. Daughter is over the moon. And then in a moment, you'll see the left ear. So the left ear is extremely, extremely narrow, and I can understand why a GP colleague did find that difficult, because it's a very challenging ear. One of the myths about endoscopic earwax removal is that you can't perform it in a narrow, twisty ear. Well, I don't think you can get as much narrow as what we did in the left ear, and you'll see it in a moment. And the wax was quite medial, so the wax wasn't in the outer part of the ear canal on the left side, it was past the second bend, so you can just see how slit this ear canal is, and it's quite deep. It's probably about between 1.5 to 2 centimetres in the ear. And what I've actually done, I've gone in with the big Zollner suction probe. That's one of the luxuries when we use endoscopic, because we're not using the speculum, we're not cramping the space in the ear canal. And I thought, if I can just get a good suction grip with the more powerful Zollner suction probe here, then I can just get this massive wax out in one big go. And because it's lodged past the second bend, I wanted a bit of power with a fine end, which is I used a fine end gauge on the right side. Obviously, I'm working on the eardrum, that's what we do. You don't want it to be as powerful, but this was lodged behind the second bend. You can see it's quite a pronounced narrow bend, and I thought I need some additional power just to bring it through. You can see the tympanic membrane, there's a bit of tympanosclerosis, so scar tissue around the periphery, around the edge. Just now I've attached a fine end, I'm just hovering over. Again, this is, for me, it's bread and butter. We're not, when I first started doing earwax removal, even that would be, oh God, that's quite deep in the ear, but we do that all the time. And if it comes off, it comes off. If not, we just leave it. We're not bothered. So again, for me, that's very safe to do. I'm happy with that. Slight retraction, the lateral process of the handle of malleus and the hammer bone, it's slightly protruding, but did tympanometry actually, and tympanometry is a middle ear function test. Evaluates the function of the middle ear. That came back normal. Patient's very happy. I hope you enjoyed that video, guys, and you all have a fantastic Easter break. Bye.